Alrighty, so yeah, breaking down an interesting one here. New main event of the, I think the January 20th card. So I believe it's 5 rounds now, which is good. Good, both these guys, cardio machines. So it'll be interesting to see this, battle of attrition, how it plays out. So first, we'll just go over the, X factors coming into this one. So Neil Magny will be bringing in a 2-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage. Pretty much just has the reach advantage over any opponent. He's looked very good since his injury and KO loss to Ponzinibbio. And Michael Chiesa, he's actually low-key coming off a 12-month layoff since the RDA fight. Time flies, but yeah, it's been 12 months since then. And usually he does have the size advantage. Obviously in this one, it won't be as prominent because, Magny's a little bit bigger, taller, longer. So, he won't have the size advantage in this one. He's never been 5 rounds. He's been scheduled against Kevin Lee, but he got finished in the first round. So I don't know if that's a thing. He's gets nervous or anxious in the spotlight if he's the main event, if he's the main show. So I don't know if that's a thing. But yeah, I think Kevin Lee was just a bit too good for him that night. So that was probably, most likely the case. Alright, we'll get into the striking here. And we'll go Chiesa first. So Chiesa pretty much only strikes to set up his takedowns. He's just blitzes in with a 1-2 and then shoots pretty much. If he's coming forward, 100% he's going to shoot. Or he's trying to look to clinch. So most of the time he's just circling to his left. He's got very, very simple stand-up. Doesn't really try to mix up his game at all. He just kind of has one way of going about things, and he's just has been successful with it, I guess, so far in his career. Also, he'll retreat hard, pretty much, if you hit him well, or if you hit him good, or you feint. If you feint, he'll just back up, on command. He won't try to defend it or anything. And that's pretty much every time any opponent tries to feint at him. Also, he doesn't check his leg kicks. Same with Neil, but yeah, I don't think Chiesa will be the one throwing leg kicks. I think it would more likely be Neil throwing the leg kicks. So yeah, we'll break down Neil now. Might call him Magny, sounds a bit better. Yeah, so Magny, since coming off that KO loss against Ponzinibbio, I've noticed he's a little bit more lighter on his feet now. He was always pretty light on his feet. But yeah, he just seems to be bouncing a lot more and just, moving a lot more, trying to stay away from the fence. Obviously, it's one of his habits he's had for his whole career, so he still does it from time to time, but you can tell he's working on it, which is good. He doesn't have much power. He doesn't generate much power in his punches, but that's okay. It's not really a crucial part of his game, but it's just, he's never going to be that guy that's going to knock someone out in one punch, or even 50 punches. So yeah, he will open up his striking a lot when he's versing southpaws. He'll jab a lot more. He'll open up his kicks. He's got a nice kicking arsenal. When he's versing southpaws, he'll go for the body kick, inside leg kick, head kick, 1-2 head kick. He opens up a lot when he's versing southpaws, and Chiesa is a southpaw, so expect him to probably throw some kicks, even though I would recommend against it, maybe, just because obviously Chiesa's going to look for the takedown if he gets a read on those kicks, and then you're just kind of giving him an out, whereas if you don't throw any kicks and you stay away from the fence, you're not really giving him many takedown opportunities for him to implement his game plan. And that's pretty much Chiesa's only game plan. So, yeah. Another thing Neil Magny will do is use his long limbs to pretty much get a neat Muay Thai plum clinch, throw some elbows, clinch knees to the body. He's pretty effective in that position. So, yeah, obviously he isn't the most amazing striker. I'm making him sound pretty amazing because he's because I've been comparing him to Michael Chiesa, but he does have some flaws, some tendencies that can be exposed and exploited. So he'll lean back to avoid punches, like pretty common with taller fighters. They think they're just too tall to be hit, pretty much. So he'll lean back, kind of stick out his neck and his chin, and that he's been caught a few times doing that. In the Kelvin Gastelum fight, I think he was dropped. He was dropped definitely with that tendency that he has. At least one time in his career, it's burned him. And also he'll turn his head away. He'll kind of cower away when he's trying to avoid strikes, and that kind of limits his vision. So if he's looking away or he's dipping his head far to the right, it's obviously going to impact his peripheral vision and just his total vision as a whole. We'll get down into the grappling, so most likely where this fight's going to be contested. Both these guys don't mind a scramble, don't mind a grapple fest. I'd probably say Chiesa would prefer it more, but Magny's no stranger on the mat either. We'll break down Chiesa first. He'll pretty much just shoot a double, turn the corner, get the body lock, trying to get his hooks in and try and take the back. That's the Michael Chiesa special that he likes to employ every match. And yeah, he is tenacious with takedown attempts. He seems to get caught in a lot of leg lock attempts off bottom. He seems to just get his leg twisted up there, and that's just some way that he gets reversed, or he lets his opponent get too much space, and then they're able to stand up. Also, when he is on the mat, he prefers to be in the back body lock position. The back body triangle position. That's one of his preferred techniques for controlling opponents on the mat. And but if he's not in that position, he'll most likely be in half guard or looking to advance. He's not really looking for ground and pound when he's in half guard. He's just looking to pass the guard or look for subs. He's pretty strong in the body lock position. So in the clinch, very strong in the body lock position. Same with Neil Magny. Both these guys do a lot of their takedowns from the body lock entries. So we'll get on to Neil Magny, who also has good grappling strength. It's been really evident in his last few fights, like against Robbie Lawler. He was just dominating him, manhandling him, pretty much, just with that Das grip that he was using. He's just throwing Robbie around. It was, quite impressive. Robbie's not the biggest, 170, but, still impressive. So Chiesa likes to use a back body lock throw, similar to Chiesa. Sorry, did I say Magny? Yeah, Magny likes to use a back body lock throw, similar to Chiesa. So that's when he gets the body lock and just kind of twists his body and pretty much just gets a knee or a leg in front of his opponent. So he kind of uses it as a trip, and then he just twists his body, and then pretty much that is horizontal because he's controlling their waist, their hips, and they have nowhere to go. So he just controls them from there. And then, just trips them over, puts them on their back. Most likely, that won't be available for him versus Chiesa, because Chiesa's so tall and will probably always have a post to lean on. You've probably heard Dominic Cruz talking about that. It's very hard to, trip a very tall guy, because they just kind of put their leg out as a post and just balance. And that's what Neil Magny tried to do in the Craig White fight, to not much success. saw Craig, what's his name? Craig White, yeah, pretty much just put a leg out and, wasn't going to be taken down by that technique. Yeah, so when when Magny is on the mat, he'll, sometimes take the back if the opponent's turtling up. His back control isn't too tight. It's not like Chiesa's. It's pretty loose, and his guard, yeah, it's pretty loose on the back, and opponents are able to slide around it and slide into guard pretty much, just kind of explode, turn around in his guard. Also, Magny will put himself in 50-50 positions a lot, which isn't great against Chiesa, who's who's pretty much looking for those 50-50 positions in this fight particularly, since he obviously doesn't want it on the feet, and he knows Magny, doesn't mind having a little scramble. So he'll be looking to create those 50-50 positions instead of, standing on the feet, definitely. So Magny, if he is on bottom, which he can, he can be put on bottom, definitely. He doesn't have the greatest takedown defense. But when he is on bottom, he'll, he's very active with submissions, triangles, arm bars. He'll throw slashing elbows off bottom. So yeah, he's no sitting duck on the ground, on the mat, on his ass. Also, he will pull guard. I wouldn't say he'd pull guard in this matchup, but he will pull guard in certain matchups, just to get the fight on the mat. And his get-ups are pretty good, but he doesn't have the best reversals or anything. He's not a Damian Maia reversal type. He'll most likely just, get back up to his feet. So pulling guard, not the greatest thing, because judges just don't rate it very highly. Also, Neil Magny, he's got pretty good takedown defense on the fence, but he does that reverse body lock that I don't really love against a double leg, because it's just so easy to counter. You just get under their ass and you just pretty much sweep their legs to the side, and then they're in this stupid back body lock position on the mat, and it's just always going to get countered. Yeah. So pretty much it isn't very effective unless you're like Alexander Karelin, who had really good success with that, and because he was just a very insanely strong guy. I wouldn't say it's very effective in MMA. So how these guys win? We'll go Chiesa. Haven't talked about him in a while. So he's pretty good at floating on top. He's got good top control. He's very tight on top. He's got good grappling cardio. Same can be said with Neil Magny. So we haven't seen Mike's back and forth scrambling cardio, or for 5 rounds I'm talking about, or his stand up cardio, if it does end up just being on the feet the whole fight, which I don't believe would happen, but it would just be interesting to see. He's very good at taking the back and controlling from the back mount. Once he does have you in that back mount, it's quite hard to get out of it, because he's just really tight. Also, he's some decent chain wrestling. Neil Magny, how he wins, as I said before, great cardio. He's very offensive in the clinch. He seems to be finally able to utilize his reach to his full advantage. His jabs, his teeps, he seems to be putting it all together recently, especially his jab, because he didn't throw it enough, in my opinion, earlier in his career. And now he seems to be throwing it a lot, which is great to see. Also, obviously both these guys are tough, but Neil Magny, he's a very resilient guy. He's very, I'd say he's very tough guy. Took a beating from Ponzinibbio, and kept fighting. He also has decent get-ups, as we talked about before. How these guys lose: Neil Magny doesn't check leg kicks. Same with Chiesa. He can be coerced onto the fence pretty easily. You just kind of faint. And his natural tendency is just to go onto the fence. and he can, lean back onto the fence and get caught. That's the way Ponzinibbio caught him, like, countless amount of times. Eric Silva caught him a few times doing that. I think Kelvin Gastelum did as well. Magny, he has probably, it's below average takedown defense. I think on UFC statistics, it's under 60%. I think it's like 59%. So it's not amazing. It's not great if you're versing someone like Chiesa. And when he is on the mat, he will like reach out and kind of leave limbs to be isolated by his opponent who is in top control. And you saw RDA do that, and Maya did that as well. And that's pretty much how they set up to take the submissions, the arm triangles. Also, he can be a little too comfortable on his back, but he also can be controlled off his back by, legitimate BJJ practitioners like RDA and Damian Maya. But usually when he's on his back, he's just been taken down and he is looking for his own offense off the back, which also isn't great to see if you're betting on him, because judges hate, judges don't rate bottom offense very, very highly. They don't, they just say, oh, that guy's in top position, he must be winning. It's a bit of an over-exaggeration, but it's if you look at the history of the amount of people who have been in top position, done nothing, but still got the round, you'd beg to differ. You'd, you know what I mean. As we said before, like with the striking department, he can bite on feints, he can cover up and throw no offense back and just let his opponents tee off on him. Obviously isn't going to be a problem in this fight. I don't think Chiesa is going to TKO him or KO him on the feet, do anything crazy like that. How Chiesa loses, he will close distance recklessly. Because, it's obvious what he's doing. He's just advancing to get into the clinch or shoot a takedown. So, it's very predictable, and sometimes he will just reach out for the clinch with both arms and just leave his chin just wide open. Also, he's really uncomfortable on the feet. Like, if you want to be in this top 5, top 10 pretty much welterweight division, like, you have to be well-rounded. You can't just not want to fight on the feet. You've got to improve that stand-up game. Also on the mat, he can rush subs, passes attempts when he's on top, and it can leave him on bottom. Also, he's been no, don't worry about that one. So past the victory for these guys. So for Mike Chiesa, there's probably not many ways, since he kind of only has one way that he likes to fight. So the feint 1-2, get Magny up into the fence, which won't be hard. Like, Magny will be pressured up to the fence pretty easily. Or he can do the 1-2 or a feint, and then when Magny's kind of dipping to his right and he kind of gives his back, you can just kind of just take a few extra pivot steps and try and take his back from there, or the back body lock position, pretty much, the game plan is trying to take Neil's back and just control him on the mat. The path to victory for Neil, which is a little bit more nuanced. So I would like him to be on the front foot. Obviously Chiesa, he will take the back foot quite easily. And I believe, with your reach, you'll just be jabbing him, teeping him, keeping him at distance. It'd just be a really easy way to take this fight and take it into your own hands. Or you can pretty much, not do that. Honestly, I don't really care if your hands are low or high or anything. You can even keep your hands low if you want to defend the underhooks. It's not, doesn't really concern me that much if your hands are low. I don't think Kessia's got that much power, or his striking is that good that it's gonna, obviously you dropped Masvidal, but that was kind of a weird glitch in the matrix, that one. just, yeah, ready to get the underhooks if he's going to shoot, which he is, if he's advancing. I'd also like him using the clinch, just mixing things up, getting Mike in the clinch. Obviously, watch for a level change from Mike, but the way you can kind of counteract that is just knees to the body. And if you have really good reactions, then I guess a knee to the face if he's going to level change. Yeah, I'd just like to see him pressure Chiesa, fight for underhooks a bit harder than he usually does in the clinch. And obviously don't pull guard. I wouldn't, maybe a few kicks if you really see it opening up, or you see Chiesa's just not in a stance to shoot if he's going backwards, or he's not, setting his base at all, or he's not lowering his level like often. Yeah, you can definitely throw in some kicks there, but obviously I'd probably stay away from it for the first few rounds, just in case he catches one and tries to take you down. And when you're on the mat, it's not all over. Chiesa's not gonna dominate you. You can still look for a single leg, as you've done in previous fights, or go for a leg lock. Yeah, so that was obviously a way that you can get up off bottom off Chiesa, because he does get his leg caught in a few leg locks or leg traps that can be used for get-ups. So I'd really like to see you use that if it's if you end up on bottom. Obviously that's not what we want to find, but yeah, if it happens, it happens. So how I see this one going. So Magny, definitely the better all-round fighter. He'll most likely play into Chiesa's game here, though. He'll give Chiesa his chance to implement his own game plan. Because he will, at one point, probably be backed up to the fence and defending a takedown. So yeah. But with that being said, Magny's a really intelligent fighter. He can probably adjust mid-fight. The same cannot be said for Chiesa. I'm not saying he's not intelligent or an intelligent fighter. I'm just saying he doesn't have much else of a game plan to adjust to. Or he doesn't have much else of a arsenal to adjust to, because he kind of wins in that one way and doesn't, yeah. But yeah, on the feet, it's Magny's fight to win. He can, revert to his natural tendencies of backing up to the fence and just kind of, being on the defensive and letting Chiesa shoot his shots and just, stall on the fence and defend takedowns. Or he can take the fight into his own hands and start pressuring, start throwing jabs and teeps, and just really take over this fight. So in my opinion, that will definitely be happening in the later rounds, in my opinion. I know Chiesa has good cardio, but I just see Neil just lending too much volume and being too active late in the rounds, and just stealing them, stealing 3, 4, 5. Chiesa, if he doesn't get that takedown, he's pretty lost if he doesn't get that takedown. And obviously, I think it's 50-50 on the mat. Obviously, if Chiesa gets on top, it's not it's not great if you're betting on Neil. But Neil's not. He's not going to just sit back and take it on his back. He's going to throw some offense. He's going to try and get back to his feet. So yeah, I just think Neil's just a bit more well-rounded. He's just a bit. I wouldn't say he's better everywhere. I'd probably say Chiesa's better in top position than Neil is. But yeah, if Chiesa doesn't get that top position or get his back, I think he's in for a tough night, especially on the feet. Neil will just be jabbing him. I'd really like to see Neil pressure Chiesa on the feet. So yeah, as you can tell, I'm on Neil Magny, yeah, by decision. So yeah, we'll have a look at the betting lines and see what we can get. So Neil Magny about 180 right now. I think he wins this fight around 60% of the time, which is good for about, I don't know, I think it's 165, maybe 170 something. But yeah, I think the odds are a little bit. There's a little bit of an edge that we have here on Neil Magny at the moment. So 180 for my Australian UK viewers, and what is it? Minus 120, minus 125 for our American viewers. So yeah, Magny by decision. What's that? 235. Yeah, probably not. Nah. He definitely could TKO Chiesa, get on top and take the back, flatten him out and just TKO him. So I just think, the money line's good enough. Could also sub Chiesa. Chiesa has been subbed before. He can be a bit lazy defending takedowns. Defending submission attempts. So yeah, but yeah, I think the play is just the money line. It's good enough. Look at that. It was 170, 160 at the start of the week. Well, pretty much the start of the week. Now he's up to 180. So, Chiesa's getting a little bit of love from the bettors, but I just don't see it. I don't see how you could be confidently betting Chiesa in this spot. You just got to rely on him getting that takedown. I think Magny is just much more skilled, much more well-rounded. I think he takes this one.